In heels, in heels. Stay tuned to DetroitLions.com to see if any of the draft prospects will beat my 40 time. It's been a busy offseason for the Detroit Lions. Hello and welcome to the Road to Kickoff. I'm your host, Tori Petry. From Wi-Fi to the uniforms the team will wear and new food offerings to the giant video boards above us, the Lions and Ford Field have gone through a lot of changes since the start of 2017. We're now on the precipice of a new football season and anticipation is high. The Lions have taken a very fan-focused route this year to get here. When you take a look around the newly renovated stadium, it's clear there's just as much to look forward to with the fan experience as there is on the field. I went through an exclusive walk through Ford Field with Lions team president Rod Wood to talk to him about the organization's motivation behind the offseason overhaul. Rod, at what point did you feel like it was time to start making all these organizational changes you did this offseason?
Probably not long after I was in this job, to be honest with you. I mean, there were a lot of things that I was thinking about, pretty soon after I was in the position.
All the household supplies came from Meyer, and Art Van actually donated all the furniture that was in the house. Isn't that special? I love it.
I think the cool thing is that oftentimes we do these events, and you and I were just talking, the players seem to get as much out of it as the families, and I've been around Warwick Dunn. He's amazing.
He really is. I mean, he's come and been at that event. He's traveled into town just to be there for Homes for the Holidays for the past 4 years, and I know he loves being a part of it.
Moves you every time, too, I can tell. Yeah.
I know, every time. It makes me teary-eyed.
Hi, Tori.
Thanks, Matt. Running back Theo Riddick was out here warming up and is expected to play for the first time this preseason today. He will rejoin Amir Abdullah in that backfield after coming back from that wrist injury, and Jim Caldwell will tell you those two are better for the run game when they are out there together. Look at the statistics: more rushing yards, more receiving yards, more touchdowns. I talked to Amir Abdullah this week, and he says Theo is the guy who you can put in there when things are going wrong, and he will catch the ball for you. He thinks they could be two of the best running backs in the league. Jen has more. What have I gotten myself into with this last exercise?
What you're going to do now is, as you descend, you're going to extend the legs out, hands behind the back. You descend down, you get parallel to the floor, extend, now pull with your hamstrings, come up. Pull, pretty tough.
It is
pretty tough. But it's a closed chain exercise. It's a great exercise to prevent hamstring injuries. Come down, pull up, good.
Well, this was just a mini version of what the guys go through, but how about after their workout?
Well, after the workout, it's time to get in the cold tub. And it's pretty cold. We want everybody to see what these guys go through on a daily basis to prepare themselves for Sunday so they can play for you.
I'm up for it.
Let's go. Well, the segment is on recovery. And this is part of what those guys go through. You gotta tighten the blood vessels, you gotta get the waste product out, the lactic acid. This right here is about 55 degrees, so it's pretty cold. You are feeling it. And sometimes we go hot and cold tub contrast.
Now, how come you didn't want me to do the hot tub first?
The hot tub, that's the executive workout. This is the thing that pays the dividends right here.
Thanks, Matt. Marv, you had that huge catch that set up a touchdown there. Walk us through that play.
Obviously, we had a lot of yards to get.
Just a second ago, Aaron Rodgers walked by. You shook hands with him. You told him, see you in week 17. How did him not playing in this game affect it?
I mean, it affected.
Now that we've given you our keys to the game, we have a special guest to bring on the show. We are welcoming in Laura and Challenger, who sounds like he's excited to be here. He's a regular at this. Laura, give us a little bit about background on Challenger.
Sure. So Challenger is a 28-year-old non-releasable bald eagle.
By now, everybody has seen those brand new uniforms that the Lions have this year. And if you're looking for a custom jersey of one of those, the Stadium Collection is the place to do it. And you can actually order one of them at these little kiosks here. So we're going to bring in General Manager of Retail, Chris Sargent, who's going to teach us how to do this. How do we work this machine?
Hey, Tori, it's really simple.
The Lions are not disappointing, especially with those group celebrations. There were two really good ones last night. One of them you probably saw. Darius Slay and Tavon Wilson having an all-out photo shoot in the end zone after Slay's fumble recovery for a touchdown. Unfortunately, the celebration was to no avail because the touchdown didn't actually count. You still got to hand it to him, though, for creativity. Then there was this one that flew under the radar. It actually didn't make it on the broadcast. After Marvin Jones Jr.'s touchdown, he and Golden Tate played ping pong in the end zone. It's actually very appropriate because ping pong is a very popular Lions locker room activity. I expect nothing less from these receivers, though. They set a pretty high bar in the preseason with that double Dutch celebration, and they came through with this one. You might not know that there is a thriving dairy industry here in Michigan. In fact, there's almost 1,800 dairy farms across the state, and 98% of them are family-owned, like this one here in Byron. So the United Dairy Industry of Michigan teamed up with the Lions Fuel Up to Play 60 program to bring Amir Abdullah out to Ritter Farms and show him how milk from these cows goes from farm to table. It was a disappointing end to Thanksgiving Day for the Lions here at Ford Field as they failed to hold off the NFC North leading Minnesota Vikings. We'll be in the locker room with interviews coming up next. We'll try to catch up with Marvin Jones Jr., who had a good game today, and find out what happened on that blocked field goal that was called back on a penalty. Stay with us. All right, we have our painted helmets. Now what?
So after the helmets have been painted, they're going to go into the drying room. They'll stay in the drying room for 24 hours. They'll stay overnight at about 120 degrees, and then they'll be removed the next morning.
Yeah, you can tell as we walk in this room, it gets a lot hotter.
Yes, definitely.
I'll be giving you all the highlights of the past week in Lions news in under 60 seconds. All eyes are on the wide receivers for this week's Monday Night Football matchup at MetLife. On the Lions side, Golden Tate was limited in practice on Thursday due to a finger injury, but he says he's feeling just fine. For the Giants, Odell Beckham Jr. returned to practice for the first time this week after suffering an ankle injury in a preseason game 4 weeks ago.
Guys, we're arriving a little bit earlier today. Yes, it is freezing cold outside, and Tori, you mentioned it beforehand.
Snow and slush. Oh my goodness.
Brutal.
Jim Bob, where's your coat?
It's a short walk from his vehicle into the building. I would assume that's why he left the coat in the car to keep it warm. But, you know, this is one of those times we can really be thankful, as you mentioned, that we are indoors today here at Ford Field.
Yes.
Temperature controlled. Gotta love that.
Yeah, these guys look a little bit chilly coming into this stadium. I was chilly walking into this stadium, as I'm sure all the fans were who were out there tailgating, hanging out before the game. I am sure thankful that it is 72 and sunny inside of Ford Field right now. It was a cloudy and cool Friday morning of camp practice earlier today, but that didn't stop rookie Jared Davis from bringing the heat. All eyes have been on the first rounder as he takes over that middle linebacker position, and today that physical playing style that he's known for was on display. Now, we didn't catch it on camera, but during 7-on-7 drills, Marvin Jones Jr. caught a short pass, and Davis was all over it. He gave him a pretty physical initial little pop there that caused Jones to bobble the ball, and then just for good measure, he hit him with a second thud that for sure would have taken him to the ground had the play been live. Both the players and the fans in attendance were pretty amped up about the play, and Marvin made sure to give JD a hard time about it during his media session. Detroit food and Detroit football are the perfect mix. That's what you'll find here at Taste of the Lions, a charity event that benefits Eastern Market. Fans can mingle with players and also sample some of the best local food. This year, of course, Ford Field is still under construction, so they also get the added bonus of seeing a little bit behind the scenes of where the stadium is at and renovations. So what was your latest travel adventure?
We took, over bye week, we went to Orlando and took her to Disney World.
What was her favorite part of Disney?
Probably meeting Belle.
Yeah, even though she wanted to meet Beast more.
So we've got more of a villain girl on our hands
I
than
think
a princess
so.
girl.
Yeah.
And there
As
it
you
is.
can tell.
Now, character is something that has been talked about a lot since the Lions drafted Davis, especially since Reuben Foster from Alabama was still on the board at the time the Lions went with Davis, who has been well regarded for his character off the field. Who is this guy as a person?
Yeah, I think he's a terrific guy. He's my daughter's favorite player. I mean, she had to get a picture with him like 10 times.
We are here at Lambeau Field ahead of Monday Night Football. It's a little chilly out here, guys. I'm a little cold. I don't know about you. Check the weather before this, about 37 degrees. You know, it's going to be a chilly one tonight.
No, but our director, Ben Mangus, said the humidity was over 50%. So this is a balmy
this is the
37
definition of balmy
degrees,
here.
you know? So, no, I mean, it's NFC Central, NFC North football. You know, back in the day, it's cold, it's Lambeau Field, it's football.
And Major Taylor gives us a minute-by-minute update, right?
Yeah, it was 38 degrees, and then it went down to 37.
And I salute the Major.
There you go. So there's your weather update here from Lambeau. Obviously, there have been much colder games played here at Lambeau Field, but it's a colder one than the Lions have seen so far this season. Switching weather gears and going around the league for the extra point, I'm taking you to the snow game in Buffalo. Some crazy lake effect snow dumped almost 17 inches of snow on New Era Field on Sunday during the Colts-Bills game. I truly don't know how anybody in the press box was able to cover this game. They couldn't see that the Bills ended up winning in overtime. My favorite part, though, was some of the great tweets that came from this game, namely the Game of Thrones and Star Wars references. The Bills account tweeted out this video from above the field and captioned it, "Live look north of the wall." ESPN photoshopped some AT-ATs in there and gave it a Planet Hoth feel from Empire Strikes Back. Now, if you aren't a Game of Thrones or Star Wars fan, then you have no idea what I just said, and I feel sorry for you. In honor of the 4th of July and the birth of our great nation, we decided to test some Lions fans' knowledge of American history and Lions history. So we're playing a little game called Lions Legend versus Founding Father. I'm going to ask them about a name. They're going to tell me if this guy played for the Lions or if he signed the Declaration of Independence. Let's do it. All right, I'm here with Gary, lifelong Lions fan, so should know quite a bit about the Lions. We got a brother and sister team here, Chelsea and Dustin. So the first question I have for you guys here is Earl Clark, founding father or Lions legend?
Founding father. I'm gonna say Lions legend.
He's right.
Oh, okay.
Earl Clark, aka the Flying Dutchman. He was a Lions quarterback and a Lions head coach, but it was in the 30s, so
that's right.
It's okay. Gail Cogdill.
Oh, definitely Detroit Lions. I remember him.
There you go. All right.
Roger Brown, Alex Karras. All right.
I'm here with this random man I found on the street named Mike O'Hara. He claims to be an expert on the Lions, but we're going to test his knowledge. John Morton, Lions legend or founding father?
John Morton?
Yes.
Like John E. Morton?
I don't know. You tell me.
John E. Morton was a receiver for the Lions in the 90s.
But is it Johnny or John?
Detroit Lions, Johnny Morton.
Lions legend.
Definitely Lions legend.
It actually is John Morton. We're not talking about Johnny Morton.
Oh my gosh.
So John Morton signed the Declaration of Independence.
Then he went and played for the Lions.
Yeah, a couple years later.
Oh, his son. Yeah.
Johnny Morton, the wide receiver. Did anybody do both? Play and then sign and then come back?
He could have.
He was cryogenically frozen. No, John Morton signed the Declaration of Independence.
William Whipple.
Whipple, didn't we meet him last year? I want to say we met him last year.
Well, if he was a founding father, we definitely didn't, so.
Oh, William Whipple, that's Independence.
How did you know that?
I think he was New Hampshire, actually.
Holy cow.
High school, college.
I hate to break it to you, but you did not meet him last year. Well, you never knew that it was going to work out for you later on.
Finally, something in high school is working out for me.
Met his gravestone, maybe that's if he's a founding father, you know?
Yeah, he's a founding father, not a Lion. Lou Creekmer.
Lions.
Lions.
That was quick. You knew that one right off the bat.
Hall of Famer.
Wayne Walker.
Oh, Wayne Walker, Detroit Lions. And was on Channel 2 as a broadcaster.
Roger Sherman.
Oh, I want to say Roger Sherman signed the Declaration, actually. I'm pretty sure he signed the Declaration. I remember seeing his name.
Ah, we have a history expert over here. You are correct. He signed the Declaration of Independence. William Williams.
Is there an echo in here?
This is William Williams.
William Williams, Declaration of Independence.
All right, good. I think you've done the best at this quiz so far.
Really? There's a story behind him, though. His parents weren't sure how fast he'd learn, so they gave him the same first name, his last name. So only had to remember one.
This guy just wants to be an expert on everything. He's making things up now.
Right.
Well, thank you, Mike O'Hara, who I've never met before and did not know knew everything about the Lions.
Do you know Tori Petry?
I've never heard of her.
Wait till you get to know her.
Doesn't sound like somebody I want to meet, but thanks for your knowledge.
Thanks for having me.